Welcome everybody to the Desk of Doom, where I review comics so you don't have to. Today's video is my opinion on Zeb Wells' new Volume 7, I believe, run on The Amazing Spider-Man. I have all the books right here, and I have a few brand new day books that I'll be explaining. Now here's the thing. I don't despise or I don't hate Zeb Wells' run, but I also don't like it. You see, basically what I'm trying to say is Zeb Wells' run isn't perfect. He's done a few projects with Roger Stern, and think of the similarities between Roger Stern's books and Zeb Wells' books. Earlier in the Brand New Day era of Spider-Man in the late 2000s, he did a storyline called Something Can Stop the Juggernaut with Roger Stern, mirroring the Nothing Can Stop the Juggernaut by Roger Stern alone. They both emphasized the same villain, except there's one key difference. It's their writing styles. You see, Roger Stern opens up and adds a new roster of villains to Spider-Man's story. So what he does is he adds obscure villains because he wants to. Now you see, the problem with Zeb Wells' run is that he adds obscure villains because he has to. Take The Amazing Spider-Man number 903, Volume 7's number 9. Spider-Man has to fight a whole bunch of these new X-Men villains for the Hellfire Gala storyline tie-in, which he pretty much just did like 4 or 5 months after the story actually came out. So he did this because the editorial had to add a tie-in because, well, they needed a storyline that ties into this because they know that Spider-Man was at the Hellfire Gala. Some of the good things about the Zeb Wells Spider-Man runs are the storytelling. Now, I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, except I think that Spider-Man getting the crap beat out of him is a pretty good storytelling method. In issue number 7 and 8, Spider-Man has to tackle the Vulture, and Norman Osborn won't allow him to get his new suit because he was planning to save the day with Spider-Man, except he knows if he gets on the glider, he'll stop. He'll go evil again, even though the Sin Eater shot him with a magical shotgun. And so, basically, he doesn't want to do it. And so he leaves Spider-Man to do it, furthermore leading Spider-Man to just freak out and go crazy over the fact that he didn't do it. Spider-Man still doesn't trust Norman Osborn. In fact, in issue number 7, he thought he was setting him up by taking his ex to Oscorp. And I think these issues are actually pretty good because they show Spider-Man's distrust with Norman. Both of these stories emphasize how Spider-Man still has a bit of his old self in him while beginning to trust him. Also, I want to say that the latest story arc is ending on a cliffhanger in these 3 issues, number 27, number 28, and number 29. Doc Ock leaves his old Dr. Octopus arms and creates new ones. And he basically leaves his old arms to rot. What we didn't know is that there's a twist. Those old arms keep going to J. Jonah Jameson's apartment, and they warm him up and stuff. So now we have Dr. Octopus's arms as characters, apparently. Except now, in issue number 29, we can see that Dr. Octopus is up to no good, about to inject Norman Osborn with the Goblin Serum again. Except, in a turn of fate, Spider-Man puts on Dr. Octopus's arms and is ready for the battle. This isn't top-tier storytelling, but it still gets you there. You know? I know it sounds like I'm blabbering about nonsense, except some of the Brand New Day stuff is different because he's adding in these new villains, like Dr. Rabin. Dr. Rabin, by all means, is a ridiculous character, and I don't really like him because of, well, Paul. Nobody likes Paul. He was just a throwaway character to begin the new volume, and it could use some work, you know? And I hope that over these new arcs that he's beginning to have, and a bunch of these things, I really do hope that he does get better with his storytelling, even though he already has. And on a final note to end the video, I wanted to say that issue number 26 was a good issue overall, but I don't understand why they said it was the most shocking issue in over 50 years. They killed off Miss Marvel just to revive her as a mutant, and that's just not up here. It's probably down here. I don't understand why Spider-Man would grow a connection to this lady from Oscorp that he just met like 8 weeks ago. And so there's something really strange about it, and I don't like it. They're trying to act like this is some canon event or something, even though Spider-Man barely knows the girl. He wasn't even at her funeral. Fallen Friend, The Death of Miss Marvel was actually a really good book, except it's a good book, but it's not the best when you know that they're going to bring her back as a mutant. As you know, Marvel doesn't exactly kill off characters. The only characters that actually stayed dead are Gwen and Uncle Ben, and that's just it, you know? Can't really do anything with the fact that if you kill off a character, you know they're going to come back. So that's Marvel for you. I'll see you guys in the next video.